Welcome to day 10. We're starting to finish. Today we're going to be working on some of the finish. My materials won't be here to finish the fuselage until Monday. So instead of doing nothing, we have a contest tomorrow I'm going to go to, but instead of doing nothing, I'm going to go ahead and tissue the elevator, stabilizer, flaps. The wing is ready. It has 3 coats of dope on it. It's all sanded with 320. I got the flaps mounted. I have 3 coats of dope on the elevator stabilizers, and it's all sanded with 320. And 3 coats of dope on the rudder, and it's all sanded with 320. So today I'm going to take the good free flight silk span that I got, and I'm going to cover these pieces. Now I've been through covering on my Monado videos. I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do this on the Continental videos. But let's see. Let's use the other silk span. This silk span here has not even been opened. This silk span feels pretty good as well. It's a triple lot. Very fine silk span. I sure hope I can get some more of this stuff. It's hard to believe that because of the ARFs, nobody's building, so the manufacturers of these materials have decided, hey, we're not selling it, let's quit making it. Now, I was going to cover this wing with silk span because it is lighter than poly span. But because of the intricacy of the paint job that I'm going to do on this model, I'm going to go ahead and use poly span. I will be showing how to do these compound curves. Talking to somebody on the forum, they saw my shoestring build, and those tips on the shoestring are not really compound tips because they're blocked. And so it's basically a straight form polyspan job. This is going to be a compound curve polyspan job, and I'll shoot that video on Monday. We'll make it a separate section for polyspan covering, because I know there's many that have a problem with it. When I go to the meets and look at the airplanes, I see people, attempting to do it, and it's close, but it's not perfect. And if any job worth doing is worth doing perfect in this. So we're gonna. That looks good. It's gonna cover one sheet all the way across, so that's good. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our materials ready. And we're going to start on the bottom. Let's move this wing out of the way so I'll reposition the camera and you can get a better view of what's happening. Boy, I like this wing. It came out great. I think I'm going to start building all my wings with 132 instead of 16. My Continental XL was built with 77 thousandths, which is almost 32nd. So, I think what we'll do here is I have some wax paper. I'll lay out some wax paper so we don't get this board full of dope. And, yeah, let's do that. Better go to the store and get another roll of paper. It looks like I'm out. Maybe 2 more pieces. So. Hopefully that's long enough. And it is, barely. So we take the silk span, let's find the razor blades. Now remember what I told you in the Monado video, you have to do both sides, one right after another, or else you'll have a problem. Silk span will, when I wet this, it will warp the wood like you can't believe. So you got to get it on both sides as fast as possible. So cut the tissue to length. It's amazing how tough this stuff is. Remember what I told you, there's also 2 sides to a silk span. Shiny side and a dull side. The shiny side goes up. Shiny side up. After looking at the plans, reading the article, looking at the magazine picture, I'm going to go ahead and build it to the plan specs where it's 1 inch shorter so it'll turn. Because I want a competitive classic model this year. I'm just going to take this completely off. Don't be afraid to do that. If you make a mistake, just move on. I'll wipe the dope off. See, I make mistakes. Not a big deal. Another piece of tissue. And I know many would say, well, you could have put it on dry. Yeah, but it won't lay down like it would when it's wet. On it. About a Windex too. Gonna have to have Windex and a roll of wax paper. What in the heck? Let me cut the camera. I'm gonna go fill this up with some water. I got about 50-50 Windex water and the sprayer is working better. So you get it wet. Pull all the wrinkles out. already feel it bowing up. Piece of dirt. I'll wipe off some of the water and put a coat of dope down. This is the bottom. We will immediately turn it over and do the top so that I don't get any warps. So I'm going to trim off the excess with a sharp razor blade, maybe. Don't want to trim. Now, as a corrosion control tech in the Navy, while stationed at Miramar, I did have the opportunity to cover and paint an F4U Corsair. And I probably was the only one on the crew who had experience covering. Because I know Glenn Heminger, he didn't build model airplanes. A lot of fun in the Navy. I'm just going to cover this. We'll cut the camera. There's no need for you to see how I do it on each and every piece. It's just repetition. Okay, I've cut the excess off. Almost. Remember, we're only not even 2 weeks into the build and we're finishing already. Take the dope, seal down the edges. One more coat on there. I could force dry it like I showed you with my Monado repair, but I'm not going to. Not today. I could completely finish this elevator stabilizer in 1 day. Polished. Alright, now let's do the other side. Making sure to force that dope down in there. We're going to do the other side real quick so that it doesn't continue to warp, because it is bowing up. Not sure why people have a hard time covering. It's really simple. If you do it like I do it. We're going to do gold leaf on this airplane again too. So I'll show you the gold leafing one more time. I think I've got it perfected down a little better than when I did the Monado. Because using dope as sizing is rather difficult. I'm not sure, but I think I might put a white finish on all these pieces before I stick them on the airplane. That way I can sand them in my hand. Okay, we got the silk span laid down. I'll dope it up. This is 60-40. With the correct thinner on it. In it. Force it down into the wood. Another coat. And that's it. And trim it off. I'll let it dry for a minute here, but trim off the edges. And then fold it over and seal the edges. And then sand it. It's going to get 3 coats today. And it's ready to paint. It's not a mystery. It's absolutely not a mystery. So, we'll be back in a short. Okay, where we're at now is I showed you that I've silk spanned the stabilizer, rudder, elevators, and I will later on today do the flaps as well. But I thought that I would get started shaping the bottom of the fuselage. So what I done was I took a 1/2 inch piece of balsa wood and cut it to shape, and now I've tack glued it onto the fuselage, and I'm taking my razor plane and I'm going to shape it. I've drawn a center line down the center so we get it symmetrical. Now this fuselage has a real oval shape, so we're going to end up cutting in to the fuselage sides. But after I get it roughed in, I'll pop it off and hollow it out. And I'm looking for this block to be way under 1/2 ounce. You'll notice that it's just taken off very small slivers because I only have the blade set to take a few thousandths off. And that way you don't gouge the wood. And you can control it. Get it close, I'll stop with the plane and we'll move to the block. I mean, this only takes a few minutes to do. It's not like it's going to take all day. So that's one side. And now let's do the other side. I wish I could, instead of teaching you on the videos here, I wish you could be here with me in my shop and I could show you and help you learn how to do this, because I see so many people struggle with the tools. Learning how to use the tools is probably the most important part of any type job, model building, mechanics. And believe me, I've seen a lot of people in my life that tools they have a hard time with. And a tool is just meant to help you. Like I showed a few days back, if I don't have the tool, I just make it. I want this fuselage under 7 ounces. If I could get it at 5 ounces, I'd be super happy. We're going to shoot for that low 40s, not low 50s. It's too big an airplane to get down to under 40 ounces. I just don't see it happening. Feeling it. We've about got it flush with the fuselage sides. And it happened that quick. Now you can do this with a knife. You could do it just by sanding it. Whatever you're comfortable with. I choose to plane it because it's easy and fast. Well, there you have it. It was that fast to rough it out. Now I will clean up the shavings. We'll get a block on it. Better tack it right here. It's coming undone. We'll get a block on it and finish shaping it, rough shaping it. Yep, I got plenty to go here yet. Well, there you have it. I've rough shaped it in a matter of ever how long the tape's been running. I would say 5 minutes. Be another 5 minutes with 80 grit, getting it closer to the shape I want. I'll take it off. I'll hollow it out. So I would say 15 minutes, 20 minutes to a half an hour tops. You have the bottom block carved, sanded out, hollowed, ready to glue back on, and final sanded. But we don't do that until after the airplane's together. So we just want a rough shape now. We don't want to finish sand it. So let's see what we got for weight. I keep weighing it along the way to make sure that we're not picking up too much weight. I have to get a scale. It only weighs in grams now. Yeah. 154 grams, whatever that works out to. But I'll get a block 80 grit sandpaper and finish rough shaping it. Then mark it on the inside and hollow it. I don't want to run the camera while I'm running the Dremel tool, for the simple fact it throws so much dust and it's so noisy. Here. Sure wish I could go to VSC with this. If I had the money, I'm sure I could make it. That looks pretty good. So we got one side done. After I get this roughed, I'll pull the plans up and I'll look at it at each station to make sure that I have the correct shape. As of right now, I don't. I know for sure. But this is just roughing it in. I want to get this this airplane was real shapely. It had an oval fuselage. We will be sanding out the inside of this too, so it's only a 16th inch thick. There's no need for all that material back there, especially in an airplane of this size. So I'm going to cut the camera. I'll probably spend another half an hour detailing this, and we'll be back. So we'll see you in a few. I'm not sure. If I did, I apologize. But it was pretty straightforward. Just glue it on the formers. Anyway, I've sanded the bottom block to shape. I know that I still have that. And I've got my gouge, and I'm going to hollow this block out. Now, we don't want to take it all the way out because we still have some finish sanding on the outside. So I never take it right down to the bare nub. Well, let's get a weight on this and see how much we're going to save as far as the weight goes. So we're starting out at 1/2 ounce, 15 grams. And we're going to start the hollowing process. And we'll see what we can get out of this. It'd be nice to get it down to 1/4 ounce. And I will sand this smooth on the inside. It's, like I said before, it's stronger that way and lighter. I've taken a felt tip pen and I've scribed some lines on the outside of this. And don't want to go any farther than that because we want to have substantial glue area. But we've come a long ways really quick. Of course, as I've stated, there are no free lunches. I've put in the time. Yeah. And the motorcycles are out today. And my alarm's gone off. I think they come by and rev up the engine just to set my alarm off. To get even with me. So, anyway, you get the idea. I don't want to show the complete hollowing of this because it's this will take me probably a half an hour. And when I get that done, I'll come back and show you the finished product. But I just take the gouge and carefully gouge as much material out as I can. Now I've left the cross member here so that it can be glued to the former. And that makes it stronger than if you just didn't have anything. We could just completely carve that out and then sand a bulkhead and stick it in there and glue it. And I might do that too, it depends. Everything I do is subject to change, whatever's best at the particular time. So I'm going to cut the camera, and I'll be back when I get this carved out, and I'll show you the end result. See you in a minute. Okay, when I stopped the video, we talked about hollowing this out, and actually the importance of it. This started out 15 grams, And after hollowing it out, I've taken half the weight out. It's now just at 7 grams. Try it on. It's at 7 grams. That means that I've taken a 1/4 ounce of weight out of it. Now, a 1/4 ounce doesn't sound like it's very feasible to do. And it's not. If it was just a 1/4 ounce, it wouldn't be worth it. But if I do that 4 times, that's an ounce. And I'm going to do that 4 times. Because the top block of the fuselage will probably start out, 2 ounces. I'm going to try to get that down, to a 1/2 ounce or 3/4 of an ounce. After I get the top block shaped, I will cut this all back apart, and we're going to sand out the inside of the fuselage here, all the stringers, and the sides. I'm going to try to make it a 1/16 of an inch and get all the wood possible that I can out of the back of this. I did build this to the plans. I did not go ahead and add the extension because I sat last night and I thought about it. And, Tom wrote the article, and in the picture the nose is real long, and I remember it being real long, and he said that it was changed on the plans. Well, there had to be a reason, and I thought back to 1969, 70, 71, and Tom didn't fly that airplane all that much. That's probably why it's still in existence and in real good shape, because it wasn't used. So we're going to make ours usable. I've got the nose moment now where the plans call for, which is the nose moment is 9 1/4 inches. So hopefully we have an airplane. We know it's going to be classic legal, but we have an airplane that really works well. I laid out the blocks for the nose. I've got to cut a nose ring yet. I'll cut that off camera. It's basically just cut a round circle. It's not that big a deal, but we're going to place that. I'm going to use the Jim Lee sanding tool to sand that nose ring in flat. And I wanted to expound on something that I could have lost. I laid it on a center line, and I glued the 2 sides to the engine bearers, and I came back and I had this on a center line, and I mated them together and put the 3 bulkheads in on its stations. Then I put the stringers in it. It's just a little bit of footage that I might have lost. I don't know why I'm losing so much footage on this particular build. But we lost that one segment. And I think I lost the fuselage jigging and the actual. I showed you how to make the crutch, but I think I lost the jigging of the fuselage, and I apologize. Now I showed you that I've got 3 coats of dope on the wing, and I've got this silk span. I got the elevator silk span and the stabilizer silk span. We haven't done the flaps yet. I'll probably get them done tonight. I wanted to get this fuselage basically underway so I could see where I was going to come out in weight, and I'm excited. I can hardly wait. It's going to be a super nice airplane. So this will be the end of the day. I'm not going to go any more with the videos. I'll probably spend an hour or so editing. It might take a little longer. I want to thank them and welcome the new subscribers. If you have any questions or whatever, you can ask me on the forum, and I'll get them posted up here if you want to see something. I also ran across some stuff while I was looking. There are these Dubro cleat hinges made of brass. No, excuse me. They're Sullivan 440 golden clevises. And I'm thinking about using that on the tail because the back half of this fuselage is so narrow that I need to have something like this clevis. I'm going to go to the hobby shop and see if I can get some brass for that pin right there to bush that up. And if I can, I will use this clevis. I will JB weld the clevis on there, push a piece of fuel tubing over the top of that to hold it together, plus it'll have the clip, and I think that should suffice forever. And then of course the other end is easy, but all that's going to go together. This airplane's going to have the push rod in it when I put it together, because there is no room to do anything back there. I've already got the, in my mind, I already have the procedure laid out. I'm going to take this board off the top here, and I'll draw the lines like I showed you on the Monado. I'm going to split this here, take the two halves apart. I'll put the push rod on the elevator, fish it up through, attach it to the wing, then push the back piece on and lay the stabilizer and glue it all in one piece. So it's going to be a real circus act on that deal. I probably have to use at least 2-hour epoxy on that, because I don't think I can get it together in 15 minutes, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead, edit this up. I'm kind of tired. It's been 9 or 10 days straight working on this thing. Probably take a break. So we'll see you in a short. Till then, tight lines, fair winds.